that we're surrounded by the comfort and protection of the highest power. In lonely hours, the tears devour you. I wanna stand with you on a mountain. I wanna bathe with you in the sea. I wanna lay like this forever until the sky falls down on me.
Hi, I'm John, and after watching Pablo the Mule Dog be stuffed with handfuls and handfuls of cocking, I've come here, me and McDonald's have come here to tell you what we know to truly be important. The family, the Big Mac, the Mac Nuggets. Come on down, grab just a 4-piece Mac Nuggets from God's green soil itself. Grown straight from McDonald farms, $1.99 only, 2-piece chicken Mac Nuggets, 1 to get for free. Listen, if you're doing drugs, stop it. Or else Mr. T's gonna come shake all that loose change right out of your pockets. How are you gonna get a 6-piece chicken McNugget stand? Reopen that 9/11 investigation. What really happened there? You just gotta know the facts. Just reopen it. Take a look. Never know what's gonna be inside. That's me, John. See you later.
The time is now for strong leadership. Reagan for president.
I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, it's so cold outside.
Oh,
That was great.
all right. Hello, everyone, and happy Juneteenth. I'm Rick, and this is Burn After Reading Live. And joining me this evening is a lady who is the ice to my fire, my sister in true crime ethics. She has a doctorate degree in Greeno bullshit. She isn't merely real chill. She isn't merely frosty. She is stone cold. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Cold Truth. How are you doing today?
Good. Wow, man, that was quite the welcome.
Oh,
I think I just said, "This is Burn."
that's okay. That's okay. I don't need any fancy introductions. That's okay.
I'll tell you what, though, I might be asking you to steal that little "It's cold outside." That might be the intro I've been kind of looking for.
No, sorry. What
I
I
don't know
didn't
how
tell
to
you,
do 'em.
what I didn't tell you is that I trademarked Cold Truth, and
Oh, did you?
no, absolutely. I would,
copyright my own name on me.
I would absolutely be happy to get you a nice full proper intro, because that would be great for your channel.
It would, wouldn't it? Like, that sounds perfect.
It is. And by the way, I'm not ignoring anyone in the chats. What I'm going to do is I'm looking at something, and usually I try to do that to stay on focus. But a little bit later, we'll go through the chat and we'll acknowledge anyone who is, commenting. So just so you know. So it looks like, despite our best efforts, and not just you and I, but I'd like to include Truth Be Told in this as well, it seems like the Greeno persuasion still holds sway on people, right?
Yep. Year after year after year.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
yeah. So, and I guess what we need to do, I guess we're going to have to be a little louder for the people in the back. But let me make something clear, because I don't want this confused, because a lot of the stuff that's going on in the Delphi Center true crime community is this issue of Richard Allen being guilty or innocent, and you have these people fighting amongst each other. And that's not what this is about. Now, I personally think Richard Allen is guilty, but it's not, like I said, it's not about guilt or innocence. And this is about how at every turn, Greeno has tried to interject himself into Abby and Libby's murder. And Greeno has been involved in controversies and criticisms regarding his approach to bounty hunting and true crime content creation since the very beginning. And with people accusing him of sensationalism and exploiting tragic events for entertainment value, critics like us have raised ethical concerns about his methods, such as using misleading or clickbait titles and prioritizing shock value over factual accuracy and respect for the victims and their families. True crime grifters like Greeno exploit people's fascination with true crime stories, predominantly the Delphi murders, for personal gain, often using deception and manipulation to build a following and profit from the audience's trust. Greeno presents himself as an expert, an investigator, and an advocate, but his true intention is to exploit people's emotions and vulnerabilities for fame and financial gain. He often brags that people should donate to his weed fund. And it seems like people are vulnerable to true crime grifters like, Greeno, and that's due to various factors. Some of those include emotional connection to a case or story. A lot of people are very connected to the Delphi case or Flora. Desire for justice or closure. Fascination with true crime stories. A lot of people, true crime, it's big business. There's no way of getting around it. Trust in social media influencers or online personalities, and lack of critical thinking or media literacy skills. And you've heard me say this before a lot, Cold. I've said it so many times, and I'll say it again. Greeno is a true crime version of a televangelist. True crime grifters like Greeno and televangelists share striking similarities in their MO.
Yep.
Both exploit people's vulnerabilities and emotions for personal gain, as I mentioned earlier. In large, they aren't taken seriously and are usually looked at as frauds, but they still accumulate an alarming audience who very much believe in the content being sold to them. And like televangelists, Greeno preys on people's fears and anxieties. And like I said, I keep using the word sensationalism, but also manipulation to attract followers. He promises answers, solutions, or closure, but instead he delivers unsubstantiated claims, misinformation, and entertainment masquerading as the truth. What does Greeno claim in his intro? He's on the hunt for answers, to be a voice for victims, and wants justice for Abby and Libby. But none of that is true. What's his big thing is Greeno Productions. And what is that? Anyone who looks at his YouTube banner, it's entertainment. It's not advocacy. It's not true journalism. And before I move on to the next thing, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, I think you hit it pretty well, but just to kind of nail home some points with like some examples of the, because the Delphi sphere that it's become, there was a split in one of the sides, and then guess who's there to give everyone a new home of like, look, and then he always wants to corner people with like, have a conversation with me, judge me on our interactions. And like, I'm literally seeing him doing it to a whole new group of men. And it's like, but see, the thing is that when new people come into this like case, they don't know that he's done this to like 75 people before them, So they're just trying to like take him at his word because he has the ability to like look because he's a chameleon. So he can look okay, but like what he's doing he's always ready to monopolize, you could also consider that some psychics have got some things right about the Delphi case. I don't have a personal example. But I have heard other people talking about, oh my gosh, look at this one person that like got this. Like, yeah, that's a coincidence. But see, that's what Greeno does as well. See, look, I told you this back then, and look, it's true. He always has to claim that he has like extra information, and then he wants to be a complete hypocrite. Like he just did it about someone making a like fake videos. Like, dude, you literally have stolen and were caught hijacking the Hannah Wilson thing. Like, he just dubbed his voice into that. But like, people don't either they don't care, or they don't like I don't know. How do you feel? I feel like there's like a couple different people that would follow someone like him without any regard for the quality or character of the person. Gullible and like-minded.
Well, and they go after the weak, suggestible minded. And
Yeah.
and you mentioned something before. He'll take certain things and say, look, I was right about this all along, but it's not like he was the originator. He thinks that, like you said, he has the exclusivity or the monopolization of this stuff. You know, things that he's talked about, Gray Hughes has talked about, Fig Solves has talked about, other people have talked about. He's not the only person here who thinks that Richard Allen is guilty. Like, he's not the only one. And this,
Yeah, I know.
So there was another thing you actually asked me directly, and for some reason I don't recall what it was. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Would you
I
ask
don't
me what I
remember.
thought? But let's
But,
move on. Yeah, go on.
yeah, I just think that, I think Curious Contrarian just said like he's entertaining. And yeah. Yeah, so is Ed Kemper. He's very entertaining to watch in his interviews with people on YouTube. But where does the entertainment come in versus the straight out like lies and manipulation and coercion and violence and threats and a long criminal history that like backs up the pathology of this guy? Like, it's super, super strange.
Character matters, doesn't it, when someone is discussing such heavy topics, especially when they're claiming that they want justice for two murdered girls, and in this case, Abby and Libby. And you know, your character needs to speak to something. Now, granted, look, we do make mistakes in life. That's true.
Yeah.
And some heavier than others, and that's true too. But when you have a path that goes from point A and we're still going into the alphabet, you know, that's the problem that I have, is that this isn't someone who's truly learned from his mistakes, other than how to be more deceptive, how not to make a decision that's going to screw me over next time, so that I can be more clever. And that's I'm actually going to talk about that with a televangelist who's done the same thing. He was incarcerated, came out, and he just found a more clever legal way to scam people. That's all. So, before we get started, is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay.
I think that two people can be like, just because like two people can be both be not good people to surround yourself with at the same time. Like, both can be true, and you can kind of just maybe stand on your own feet instead of like going from this group to this group to that group. Like, just like do your own thing. And I don't understand why that's such a hard concept of why people don't understand that. Like, I don't just because I don't like Greeno doesn't mean that I'm going to flock to someone different, like, or vice versa. Like, it's just the weirdest thing ever. I've you can not like a bunch of people all at the same time, regardless of their side. Like,
Right. Freddy versus Jason, they're both bad guys.
Yeah.
That's how you can look at it. And so we're going to share 7 similarities between Greeno and televangelists. And Cold, did you want us to take turns going over them? Do you want me to initially read the points and then we can discuss it? How would you like to do it?
I have it pulled up. Well, wait, gotta make sure
And I'm happy to like read the points and then we can just kind of just discuss them if that's
Yeah.
easier for you. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just pulling it up so I can
Sure.
read along.
And I'm still a novice with StreamYard. If there's anything, I assume you can share things as a guest. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can. If there is anything you want to share on screen, just let me know. Like if there's a video or anything. Otherwise, that's okay. I just didn't know what you had planned.
I had kind of made like some like quotes of his stuff, but I was just kind of gonna follow your lead, dude.
Okay. Like I said, though, if there's anything you want to share, and if you're able to share that through what we have, again, I'm still like, I know I can share things. I can share my screen. Does it show like you have the ability to present if necessary?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it should be no problem. All right. So with that said, so here's point number 1. They use emotional manipulation to control their audience. They create engaging and shocking content that captures people's attention, often exaggerating or distorting facts to make their stories more compelling. And so let's think about that. So we have Greeno, who has cried on video or used emotional music while narrating his position to invoke an empathetic response from the viewer. He will show emotional outrage by acting like the outlaw hero, claiming that if the justice system fails to convict murder suspect Richard Allen, then he's going to take justice into his own hands. And he says that he's not afraid to go to prison, while at the same time cries for bail money anytime he's arrested and files modifications for early release. You know, Greeno, for the most part, you know, he's a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, to reiterate, Greeno Productions, it's entertainment, but of the worst kind. And is there anything you want to add to that?
Oh, I know that a lot of like the newer people weren't around for it, but you remember the Chadwell victim, the 9-year-old. It was right the last time that Greeno went on the run. So he's gone on the run like quite a few times since, you know, early 2000s. But the last time before this time right now, he made this video because people had paid him to go to the Chadwell sentencing hearing. But of course he didn't go because he was actively like on the run that same day. So he makes a video where he's crying and he's talking about how he went, which he did not go, and that he talked to this little girl, this little child, which is ridiculous in all aspects. Thank God it wasn't true. And how he was telling her, you know, that like she's safe and like all of these things that no one would ever say. It's like, what are you doing? You know, and then goes on the run. This is just what he does. It's just like the fake emotion is, I don't see how people can't see through it. It's like, but again, I do this because he stole money from Miss Dottie and Miss Cheryl. So right from the fund, like right from the fundraiser for them to be able to go to court, he stole the money. And so I've been doing this ever since, and I have no intention of quitting no matter who says what. I literally don't care. You know, it's the right thing to do in my mind, because eventually everyone's going to see what I'm talking about. You know,
Right.
Anyone that reads like even just like one book on psychopathy, profiling, anything of this, what this whole genre is supposed to be about, but people don't seem to grasp it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, one day, you know, he's gonna finally do something. I mean, let's just let him keep threatening people online, but whatever.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Oh, he's not being serious. He's just trying to get a rise out. It's
Or
funny.
he's baiting you and you took the bait. So now
Yeah.
it's like you're
Yeah, like he's some for cerebral assassin. Like, give me a fucking break. But also explain those two funds a little bit, just more in context for people who may not know about it, if you don't mind.
Ray Hainish was murdered by Garrett Kurtz on March 13th of 2019. And Nicole Bowen was murdered by Garrett Kurtz and Ashley Garth and company on March 29th of 2019. And I think it was, I've never really had anything to do with Greeno, just because he just seemed like, I can't take someone seriously that wears like a leather jacket, like the way he used to dress, and he'd wear this like big stupid hat. Like, it's like, I can't take that guy seriously. So I never really did in the beginning of the case, but I've been here on this case since before, we knew they were murdered. But he was just like so ridiculous even back then. And he was constantly making false claims like, oh, they've arrested Mark Redwine. They've arrested Daniel Nation, to the point where the family was just like, even Anna can't stand him, And so it's like, for him to already have made this video like what he's doing right now, and he's literally only made this video because he didn't get any attention. So he's like, I'll just make my own. He literally says that. So there's the lameness of that.
Yeah, what does it say?
But yeah, so they started a fund, but the families had, kind of, let's, like, he has a bigger, I didn't have a channel at all. So he's like, he has a channel. He's willing to kind of like add some exposure to our children. And I'm like, okay, I'll go along. I'll work with him. But I had told him, like, if you steal from them, setting up this fund to get basically just so they could have like there was like 5 perpetrators. So, and the courthouse was about an hour from like the closest person to go. And they wanted to be there. And it was just kind of a way to like ease the burden of like, you can use this money to buy lunch. They're there forever. It was like a whole murder trial plus like all the hearings for 5 people. It was like a lot of pressure. And so he started this money pool, and then he took the money, like not all of it, because someone else paid the majority of it on his behalf, which he likes to claim that isn't stealing since someone else paid it out of the goodness of their heart. But okay. But yeah, and then he just took the money, and then he tried to, when I confronted him about it, after he got out of jail that time, another time, he tried to tell me that Jess stole it. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. But I told him, it's like, if you do them dirty, if you steal from them, I will go level 12 psycho on you. Like, and I've kept my promise, But yeah, I just, I don't care what people do and say to me, but when they hurt the people that I love, that's when I will go full throttle ahead. And then it just kind of devolved, dude. Just kind of thought he was just kind of a grifter, a thief, like a jailbird, whatever. And then it just kind of turned into something that I never expected. He likes to accuse me of reaching out to all these people, but that's just simply not true. I've had people reach out to me from all states I didn't even know he was in. It's like crazy, the stuff that he hasn't been charged with that I don't even talk about. It just kind of turned into a whole thing of, wow, there's just like so much more here. And having studied this like type of mind since I was like, literally my aunt was murdered when I was 10. Yeah. So, it's, and then having a friend being murdered because of domestic violence was just like, yeah, of course. I'm going to try to warn people about, this type of person, which is what he is. He's this type of person. So it's like preemptive, for me.
Right. I mean, you got skin in the game.
The sickness of, I can't really do anything for the families of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Like, there isn't really anything as a creator that I could offer Like, we're not going to solve the Delphi case. It's ridiculous.
No.
He claims that too, that he's been investigating, which that's a ridiculous claim to make. You are a layman, like, and you're a felon. Like, you're not investigating anything at all. Neither am I. Like, let's just be real. Like, we don't have degrees in this kind of stuff. And we're not involved in this case. So, like, how could I help them? And people like Greeno have really made it a point to be just a pain in the ass of a lot of these families, not just the Abby and Libby's family, but across the board. So it's like, yeah, I can help with that, especially if there's court documents, like we'll just read those.
Well, and the difference between us and him is that we've never claimed that we were going to investigate and solve anything. We will cover things. We'll cover cases. We will, be advocates for victims and their families, but we don't claim to be armchair. I mean, I don't claim to be an armchair detective and that I'm going to figure out or solve anything. But covering versus investigating and making hubris claims, those are different things. So, so let's move on to number 2. So people like Greeno and televangelists, they make exaggerated or false claims to gain credibility. So in 2017, Greeno claimed he was working with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the FBI on finding the Delphi killer. And Carroll County's Sheriff's Office confirmed he was not working with them. Greeno claimed at one point that a suspect, and you mentioned it before, some of the suspects one of them would be arrested in a matter of months, and he had to be rebuked by Becky Patty, the grandmother of Libby. And he claimed that he had a TV deal for a reality show about bounty hunting. He claimed to be a wheelchair basketball coach. He claimed to have special knowledge of the case, of the Delphi case that you mentioned before. He claimed to be the only Delphi resident to cover the case, which gives him special and direct insight. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because you do know more about it than I do. He wasn't living in Delphi. Wasn't he in Lafayette or somewhere else? Like, as far as a resident, as far as being a resident.
No, he's not. He's never, even in his childhood, he's an adjacent. Like, I don't, and that's why it's like, why are you lying about that? Like, you literally live close enough to just be like, yeah, I live in the county next door. Like, why do you gotta be from Delphi? Like, it's, and the whole, creepy boots on the ground and like selling the nails from the bridge for profit. Like, he's just done like so many cringy stuff. It's like, just like, but yeah, I don't know. He's,
time out.
No authority. He like,
hold on, Mel. I'm sorry. I do not mean to be rude nor disrespect you, but there's something I want to say. 50 Shades of Fake. That's not hate watching. Because if she's hate watching, you're telling me I'm hate watching. Are you telling me I'm hate watching when I see these pricks sit there and try to say the 3 convicted murderers of Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Stevie Branch? That's hate watching or hate reading? No, it's not. So we can knock that off. I am so sorry. Continue. And I'm not going to address you anymore, Faye. I just wanted to say that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, there's just been a whole, apparently was able to like really sway people. I'm not sure how reading court documents and like literally showing proof is me being like a shady, manipulative person towards Greeno. But that's what these people seem to think because of my friend in real life. Like, they're really offended by that, even though it's like, oh, but so we're going to jump ship, like whatever ship. I'm not on a ship because and then we're going to go support Greeno. So it's just kind of like, those aren't really the type of people, the wishy-washy people, even in real life, on YouTube, anywhere, that can be swayed so easily by a someone that with slick words like that. That's a you problem. That's a you problem, Faye, and the rest of you. Like, it's crazy. It's just absolutely bananas what he's able to do and just monopolize on any kind of rift in the community, and then gather supporters through monopolizing on it. Like you said, it's a evangelist.
It's exactly what
Charisma,
it is.
official charm.
Right. And let me ask you this: you're not watching every single live that Greeno does, do you?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I don't. Who has the time to do it?
You know what's really great is I don't hardly watch on my own. I have some people that want to be anonymous, and they always have been, and they will remain to be so. But everything that I need to know on Greeno and what he's up to, I just simply go to Messenger. I don't seek out him at all unless I'm gonna do a live on him. And then I'll put together what other people have been sending me.
Yeah, a lot of other people do watch him, and they will bring things up to either you or me. I get that with the West Memphis 3 case. I get it with other things too. The Maura Murray case, where people will be like, hey, did you watch this latest video? And this is what they're saying. It just comes with the territory, especially when you cover someone. So with that said, you have a pretty good video that you showed me, and I think
you want to
quite
play it?
yes. And maybe the only thing that's maybe a little out of place is the Caesar haircut thing, but it's too damn good. But the rest of it, I think, I think it's too good not to put in there. But everything else I think is quite relevant. So give me a moment. I'm going to get that video out now.
Yeah, and you can fast forward through the Noe and the Caesar 2 part.
No, let people watch it. Fuck it. Like, I think it's good. We can use a good laugh. It got a little serious there for a second. All right.
Hey, dog, because your girl, she dated a dude like me at once in her life. Y'all driving around in an escort, listening to music that scares her, dog. But she was with me, and her mom hates me, and now you there. But yeah, you nice. You a nice guy, right? Yeah. All the moms love you, dog. You always help carry in the groceries. Not me, dog. Nah, because the dude with the Caesar cut, he's the bad boyfriend that's finally gone.
Look at me. Anthony, Rene Greeno, Antonio Reneverde. Look at me, bro.
Television show about bounty hunting in the South. It's going to be featuring me, Agent Greeno, the bounty hunter. The show airs on Fox, UPN 23, starts in Tulsa, and it's going to air in several major cities throughout the United States. And it just depicts a little bit about what we do down here in the South. This is our real job, real fugitives, real captures. And, we're just trying to get it out there and let everybody know that. And they wanted me to put on a show, and I decided to start with a smaller network like Fox and put it on there for about 6 months. And after that 6-month period, Spike TV says they want to put us on, so we're currently negotiating with them on when to air and what we're going to do with it. So that's kind of how it came about. Actually, Phil and I got an invite just earlier this week to go out and actually do some bounty hunting out in Kansas. Dog and his crew. Maybe for their upcoming show, Dog and Beth. Not really sure all the details right now, but we definitely know we're going to be doing some bounty hunting.
Deeper than the ocean and higher than the pines. Girl, you do something to me deep down in my heart.
On the network, on this television, I can air it on my YouTube channel, which is originally what this channel was designed to do. This channel wasn't even created by me. It was created by a team of individuals who said, let's air the Southern Bounty television series on your YouTube channel. And I did. And then all of a sudden YouTube glitched out in 2018 and I lost all my content, every single thing. I lost it all. Sucks. It was horrible. So no one has bought the bounty hunting program. Yes, actually they have. There's two networks though that are negotiating on which one is going to take it, because they both have got, well, I can't, man, I can't really say a lot about that, but I can say that there are two offers on the table, and one of them is they both given a guarantee that. So I am excited to announce that production on the new television series will be taking place this summer to fall. More likely this fall. Will start this fall. This TV show will not air until next year, probably sometime around fall or winter time next year. This is a long process. This takes a lot of time. This is a lot of video editing. This is not something easy to accomplish. Is the quotes. Okay, so this is quote number 1. All right, and this details it as this. Let me go ahead and make this full screen. This is quote number 1. So this is a full production day, okay? And it's $1,000. It's got 2 4K cinema cameras, lighting, audio, drone photography. A full day is 5 to 10 hours. It's $1,000 a day. Okay, so that's going to take 2 days. This includes actors and actresses and traveling to the location, okay, and back. This gives me an option to break up 2 full days into 1 full day and 2 half days under 5 hours with no extra charge. This is pre-production, all work. That's $400 for that. It's prep before shooting. That includes shortlisting, storyboards, gear prep, casting, general logistics, call sheets. That's $400 a day. So now this is budget number 1. $2,400 is what that would cost. $2,400 for the first one, to ask this person to film it only. Okay, just film it and hand it to me. The next thing that we're going to look at is quote number 2, and it offers a little bit more, but not as much as 3. And quote number 2 is this one. So this one gives us a full video, including interview setups with 2 4K cinema cameras, lighting, audio, and drone. Okay, it's basically the same thing up there. Now the second part changes. So it's editing. You get full coloring in the raw clips for immediate editing by the client. It includes color correction and grading, and it's all the pre-production work. Okay, so then that is actually getting it to where it looks nice, it looks professional, it looks good, it all matches. That's how that works. Now this is number 2. So that's having him film it and color grade it and make it look all nice before he hands it over to me to edit it. And in doing that, that would cost me, what does it say right there? $3,000. Okay, so $3,000 for number 2. So we got $2,400, $3,000 for number 2, and then this one, number 3. Number 3 gives us full filming days, editing. I get full surface edit of 2-hour-long documentary, broken up into 4 30-minute parts. It includes cutting and splicing, color, text and basic graphics, music and sound effects, pre-production and post-production stuff. And I'll be the overseer on all this. Every single bit of this, I'll be the overseer. And this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to cost the most, but it is to have it filmed and produced in its entirety, which would, there's two things. There's pros and cons to this, okay, of doing it either way. That's going to cost $6,000. Obviously, I don't have that, and that's a lot to come up with. But we can pay these in payments, okay? Some of them will be put up front, and some of them will be put like towards like the next payment. So we can set monthly goals and like try to reach those goals if we can. If we think that that is the most beneficial thing to do, is to, because this is where I have a hard time. I need to create the storyline for Delphi, okay? Like these other people have done. They create a storyline, but they got to cause some sort of chaos for me, no matter what I'm doing. You know, I could be showing up to do something great for the world and save everyone from dying, and Mel will be like, oh, look at him, he's such a horrible dude, he conned everybody to get there. It's like, God, lady, sometimes I wish the old me could come back sometimes. You know, the old me still has a few felonies left. Some extra lives. I was standing there at the courthouse, and I was standing right there filming Ron Logan go in and out. And I told Toba, I said, hey man, I said, whenever the dude gets arrested, the bridge guy gets arrested, I want a for sure spot in this courtroom with my camera. And he said, you know what? I would, but there's no cameras allowed in the courtroom. And I said, wait, at all? And he said, not in Indiana. There's a law. You can't take cameras in the courtroom. And I'm like, damn, dude. He's like, you know what, man? If we had that law, I would certainly see that you got a spot in there because you're a local. I have a spot in that courtroom if cameras are allowed. Okay? If cameras are allowed, I do have a spot. I know. And I posted my credentials in that thing today. I have a media license. I have a business license, a media license, and I am recognized as a reporter. Okay? And it's through YouTube. But it's...
Keep going live, buddy. I got all night. Because, when you go away, I'll go away. Well, I won't go away. Stop that. But I will stop talking about you when you go away. I sure will. I sure will stop talking about you when you go away. But I'm not going to run out of content, and he's not going to run out of lies. So looks like we're going to be here a while, folks.
Yeehaw.
Oh, so fun. See, your chat is just wild. Yeah, Faye, if you want to talk like on my channel, go right ahead. I'm not going to address you here. And I don't know what you're talking about half the time per usual. So, but if you would like to inform me, you go right ahead, honey. You go right ahead. It'll probably be similar to the last time you tried to do this. Like, I don't know what your deal is, but yeah, I don't know who I've offended so horridly. And the situation doesn't need to be talked about by me. And Prof, I don't know what you're doing, but just that's, I don't, regardless of whatever is going on with your child, I've never liked you. I've made that very clear. I have tried to reason with you a few times, and that never went well. So, yeah, I'm not going to be one of those people that just because you don't like Greeno, I'm your friend. Like, that's just not how it works. So, you've been consistently pretty wretched. So you're not going to get a bunch of like bandwagon followers in here. So, but if you all want to talk about him, go right ahead. My point is that two people can be terrible all at the same time. You don't have to jump on anyone's bandwagon and be a part of their team. And if you think that I am all of those things and you are just following what I said, that's kind of that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. If you want to change your mind about Greeno and think that he is just the hero of the town, because you're mad at me, again, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. And you should probably check where your convictions actually lie. Like, it doesn't seem like anyone that would just be mad at me would be like, oh, because I'm mad at her, I'm going to go buddy up with Greeno. That's just pretty wishy-washy.
To quote Gray Hughes, boom. So anyways, let me share something here. And thank you for sharing that, by the way, Mel. I'm going to share my screen because I thought this was interesting. There is a little forum. Can you guys see it? Let me make sure everything is good here. Yeah. So there's a Fugitive Recovery Network. And you have in the forum, this was from 2013. And our buddy Anthony Greeno under Southern Bounty decided to go ahead and make a post. And I'll try to get my voice as deep as possible and speak in the third person. Anthony Greeno is a bail agent who operates in Oklahoma, has been seen on Dog the Bounty Hunter, and is a reality TV star for an upcoming show on Fox. Seems like there is an old expired non-extradition warrant from Indiana and 3 misdemeanor convictions. No felonies according to the state law enforcement division. And then there's a link, but it's doesn't work. A lot of these links don't work because I checked them. And then we got this other bounty hunter, goes by the name Cage, recovery agent. Actually has a bail license, has a real number. And he writes, I really shouldn't acknowledge this post with a response, but I watched the video. The nation's most elite. I laughed so very, very hard. And then you have someone else. Nope, not going to do it. Just answering the post to say I'm not going to do it. Sorry, jackass. Then we got another one. It's just so easy. I wish I could take back the hit counter that I caused to go up. Then we got someone named Sean. Okay. I took one for the whole team and actually watched their entire YouTube video series. I can testify to the fact that viewing such was painful. I think of how they scored a deal with the local network to become televised, but I guess it's all about quantity over quality. By the way, that didn't actually happen, but he's watching the video as is. This one. Greeno has been very active. He states he was a police officer, DEA, USMC, 2 combat tours, and on a SWAT team. Keep in mind, he has had his first conviction when he was 19. He works with, I don't know what INV is supposed to be named, Ward in Oklahoma. This is after the laws went into effect. In his fake videos, he hides his right side. He cannot pose a weapon due to his domestic violence conviction. His warrant is still outstanding from Indiana. He wrote, I am so glad I do not get that TV station. Well, that's okay. You weren't going to see it anyways. They said they found his felony conviction at www.mycourts.in.gov, and it shows he pled guilty to 4 misdemeanors and 1 felony. Let's see. You can't be a TV star when your show hasn't aired yet. His show is supposed to air on a pay for airtime deal like last night's infomercial, which allows him the opportunity to sell his own commercials or fund the program out of pocket. His claims, while only being 27 years old, are ridiculous and preposterous to the polite. Like Chapman, referring to Dog the Bounty Hunter, he claims 6,000 apprehensions, 10 years experience, former USMC, former DEA, etc. We have seen his like come and go, always to the detriment of our profession. I have no intention of getting in a pissing match with someone hell-bent on self-aggrandization. I can't say that fucking word. Fuck it. And with too much time on his hands. I have never heard of a warrant expiring. I have heard of them being recalled, administratively closed, absent prosecution, and served by arrest. Southern Bounty is the name of his show, and he is seeking approval, affirmation, and acceptance to help market his show. His show has been advertised as a new hit show, but it must have been aired in more than a local market to earn such acclaim, and must have been aired. And I'll leave it there because I think we get the point, right?
People don't think this is relevant, but this is like past behavior predicts future behavior. You could go find his IMPD right now. Someone sent me that the other day, and I was like, surely this is made up. But yeah, there's.
I have one. I'm on the International Movie Database for my award-winning documentary on Impaled Painfully Blunt, and that's the truth. So congratulations.
Yeah, you can pay to have your own IMPD too.
Yeah, what's great, I didn't have to pay for one, but maybe he bought the pro version. I don't know. But
Mars, you're gonna get literally nowhere over here. I mean, you've had a front row seat to the horribleness of your boy for years now. So go ahead and carry on with yourself. Like, I've zero respect for you, and you discredit everything that you do for victims and their families by supporting someone like him.
with that said, let's move on to number 4. Greeno and televangelists create a sense of community or exclusivity to keep followers engaged. So, what does Greeno always claim? His members are a community for justice. He creates memberships to share exclusive information, usually threatening to dox his adversaries. He also claims if his followers donate money to him, they are fighting for justice, giving them a false sense of purpose and incentive to donate. And do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, it's pretty evident. I mean, it's all relevant because he keeps doing it, still like.
Mm-hmm. That one seems so straightforward and blunt.
Yeah, it really is.
What can you add to it? And so number 5, they often use tactics like gaslighting, blame shifting, and playing the victim to maintain their power. And Greeno has done this multiple times. He even had the disgusting audacity to blame Abby and Libby's family for scrutinizing him for putting out false information because he wasn't given praise. He told Abby and Libby's families, oh, and for all of you who say I'm biased, you goddamn right I'm biased. I'm biased towards fucking people who grift off, the families of victims and whatnot. And if that makes me biased, hell yeah, I am. But anyways, what does he tell them? He tells the family to go fuck themselves. And he also blamed Michelle Barton for the death of her son, Tanner Barton, because she called him out on something different. And Greeno will also justify his bad behavior by pointing to other bad behavior as if it makes what he does a wash. It doesn't. It's a simple juvenile response to deflect his own wrongdoings. But he does that. It's like, well, that person over there, they're worse than me. It's like, how about you both just suck? How about that? It's like, there is no wash here. Then people will say, well, why don't you go after that person, Rick? Or why don't you go after that person? Well, number one, I don't have all that time. Believe it or not, I got a full-time job. I do this as a passion project, and I also cover many different things. It isn't solely just to this. And number two, are these people on the same level as far as getting views and has created a history and especially have a very violent nature? And maybe one or two do, but not like him. In this case, I'm just going after the big fish.
Yeah.
And let me share this video real quick. We had it on the docket, so I might as well share it.
Oh, yeah.
Give me 1 second. Stopping that. Number 5. Here we go.
And I feel like I don't know what to do after that. I feel lost. I feel like I'm lost. I do, because I put my heart and soul into this. And, if these people screw.
Yeah, and I agree. You put your heart and soul into it, but not for the right reasons. I mean, I'm sorry. How many times do we have to hear it? I'm doing this for the reward money. Fuck the families. But that's okay because he has a temper. And if you have a temper, it's okay to say batshit stupid, insensitive things that could, I don't know, maybe really hurt the families, or if anything, just pushes the point home that you're a scumbag. You don't get to use things like, I was angry. Do I get to come home and I have a girlfriend, a wife, whatever, and dinner's not ready to smack her because I was hangry? Of course not. Of course not. Just because you have a temper, well, I guess that just adds to the problem now, doesn't it?
Yeah. It just, he just keeps, and that's the thing is like, I don't need to, I point out what's already there. It's not like I don't make anything up. Like you can literally go and like, you could watch him do it to you yourself, but people aren't willing to do that because I think a lot of people, they just need someone to follow. Mm-hmm. Like they can't stand on their own foundation because the foundation isn't really that strong, and just in general life, like, and so it's like, they have to have someone else to follow. And that's why it's so easy to jump on one bandwagon, because another bandwagon like let you down, I'm like, how about you? Like if I did something and we were no longer friends, would that affect your mind on the character of Greeno?
Wait, are you talking to me? Can you say that
Yeah.
again?
Yeah,
Say that
like
again. I'm sorry.
if tomorrow me and you got in a big fight and you were mad at me and would you then start to support and like Greeno because you didn't like me?
Absolutely not. I'll give you an example. Anyone who may know who Roberta Glass is, we had a falling out. I'm not all of a sudden saying free the West Memphis Three. And she believes in their guilt. So I can have those disagreements with people who believe the same as I. So if you and I have some kind of disagreement, some kind of falling out, I'm not going to end up being on Greeno's show. That will never happen because I'm not going to contribute to putting coins in his pocket. I refuse to do it. So, yeah, no, that's a great point. It's like just because people disagree with each other doesn't mean this isn't professional wrestling where you're going from a good guy to a bad guy and now you're with a whole group of bad guys. It's just not how it works.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to mention before I go to number 6?
Mm-mm.
All right. So, yeah, we are at number 6. So, people like Greeno and Televangelists, they disregard accountability and criticism, labeling detractors as haters or trolls. And televangelists will claim that anyone who criticizes them are haters of God and trying to disrupt the Lord's work. These haters are demon controlled and worldly. They should not be listened to, for they do Satan's work. And anyone who uses facts and logic to expose Greeno, he'll call them haters and trolls. He'll tell his followers not to watch their content while at the same time trying to mobilize his followers to report these videos or channels, proving he is an insecure little boy who fears accountability and criticism. He'll claim his detractors are jealous or women who have had crushes on him and he spurned them. And they only make him more popular. Which is funny because if they make you more popular, why are you trying to mobilize people to shut their channels down? Sounds a little contradictory to me. And he uses these tactics, as a sad game of reverse psychology. And so I'll play the next video here. Give me a moment.
If there's a channel out there that you guys feel is harassing or cyberbullying me, I would strongly suggest get on a computer and report it. And if you're not sure how to do so, contact me and I'll send you a tutorial on how to report a channel. It's a weird process, but you got to get links and stuff like that, and you got to send it to YouTube. If there's a playlist out there that you guys want to report, please do so, because I don't cyberbully anybody, and I don't want to, and I don't think anybody else should do that either.
So yeah. But I thought we were making him all popular. All these people are coming to him saying, because I watch Cold Truth, or I watch Burn After Reading Live, or I watch this person or that person. I found them through you, and God, you're just a swell guy, Greeno. We're going to subscribe. We're going to be paid members. We're going to make sure that we send you super chats, make sure that we go ahead and put money in your GoFundMe or PayPal or whatever the hell that he's putting it in. Right. It's like, because of them. So I guess you and I need to go, shit, we better stop. We better stop. Meanwhile, he's telling people to go ahead and report these channels. And I mean, no one can see the contradictory behavior there. Anyone? How about you people in the back? Anyone? No. Okay. Marv? No. Faye? No. No one? Okay. All right. No, that's okay. All right. So, anything you would like to add before I go on to point 7?
I almost spit on Fiend's comment. You probably haven't read the little the Delphi stuff with the tutorial. I'm sorry that how something just gets you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did just read it, so I know what he's talking about.
Now I
Anyway,
haven't.
but yeah, chaotic. We got like, there's, yeah, she knows me and I know her, and I don't need anyone to fight for me, but I know that if I do, she's the one. But yeah, Faye, like you have tried so many different times over the years. I don't know whether you like go through like some kind of like up and down or whatever, and then you like come back around, but I just can't really take you seriously anymore, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe just be consistently your own way and not trumpeting for anybody else. You know, never ask you to do that for me, that's for sure. Never ask you one time. And literally, like, so what? Faye, you want to get on this, like, what took you away from like the truth of Greeno to where you're over there, you know, telling him all, you know, like you're now like Team Greeno with your little group of friends, because I'm friends with HCC in real life, like who, yeah, I've told him things that I've literally told you guys, like I don't agree with some of the things that he does, but like him having like a like things finally getting to him and him having one, like, or maybe two in the most over the last, like, since 2019 for me anyway, compared to the consistently bad behavior of Greeno is just, it doesn't even compare. And that really shows me where your foundation is just like really, really questionable, you know? So I'm still going to be his friend today, tomorrow, and probably next year. And if you have a problem with that, I literally could give 0 forks. I'm not going to, like, that's the same with people do that with politics. Have you ever noticed that, Vern? Like, where it's like now anymore, like you can't, if you are, you know, if you vote for President Biden, you know, like you've lost a friend. If you vote for President Trump, you've lost a friend. Like, that to me is like the most asinine reason to lose a friend. That's so superficial and external, to where reasons to lose a friend would be like a betrayal of trust.
Right.
Finding out that someone is like backstabbing or like something really personal, you know, of like not some external a view because you disagree on your view of like a case. That's like no one, I hope, good Lord, like, I don't know. When I have friends, like I have friends and I will go to bat for them. And yeah, sometimes I get hurt like by the loyalty, but I'm learning my lessons and I'm learning why I, my own accountability, because I'm the common denominator in it. And it's like, why would you surround yourself with someone that is like, can't take their own, you know, to see where they might actually be the issue.
And I still can't believe the argument that I'm hearing here.
I did not. Like a mentally ill woman. No one is going to, that's happened to me before in my life. And I'm no longer going to stand for it. No one is responsible for the life of someone else. That's just simply not a thing I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm going to bow to whatever you say, no matter what it is or how ridiculous it is, because and I literally gave her the best advice I could. If someone's comments makes you feel that way, you should probably not be here. This is a brutal place.
Believe me, I just had to deal with this just a little while ago with someone I debated. Like,
oh, I know you did. That was wild.
right?
Like, and you can't. So what? You're mad that I went off on her? Did you read all of the stuff that she was saying? So no, I am not going to apologize if that's what you're looking for. I don't even know why you're here. I have no idea why you're here. Yeah, and move on. Yeah, it's like, yeah. But she wants to come in here and like be a distraction for Greeno, and it's just like so obvious what the group of them came in here with the intent to do.
Well, and
Like,
here's the other thing
it
too.
started from the minute the chat took off. They all started.
Well, and
It's
here's
like
the other thing.
proving my point anymore that he is like a freaking like cult leader, like with the power that he has over these people that like cannot think for themselves. I don't care if you hate me. Like that should not change your position on a morally reprehensible human being with a criminal history of violence and repetitive, like to confine someone. We're in the true crime genre, people. And these are the same people that will get on their channels and like literally talk out of both sides of their mouth because while they're supporting Greeno, but they're like, oh my gosh, look at the criminal history of this killer. Look at all the things that he did. Like any one of them you can name, like Rex Heuermann, like they're bringing up little things and even his family and whatnot and the other. Those things are relevant. They would be relevant for a aggravating circumstance at a trial. His criminal history would be an aggravating circumstance. That's just a fact. So it is very relevant, especially when someone shows a decade after decade long pattern of not taking the time to actually become a better person. But they spend all their time making it look like they're a good person until the mask slips. And the mask slips so much that the people that have decided they don't like me for whatever reason that have like gone over there, it's like, oh, well, maybe you should like maybe not try to threaten to kill anybody today. And like that way we could like not feel so bad about following you. Like what?
And none of them want to address that. None of them want to say like, wow, you know what? Yeah. But okay,
wild.
but it's like a televangelist. When a televangelist is wearing the finest garbs and is doing all these things, has a $56 million jumbo jet, because it's actually for the mission to go and baptize people in the name of Jesus, when in reality, it's for their own personal use. But you will have people who are giving their last dollar, a big chunk of their paycheck to these televangelists, and they go like, well, yeah, he dresses nice, but that's because God wants him to dress nice. They will come up with the most ass backwards excuses to justify their support.
I know. And that's the thing that's just like, I wouldn't take down any of my content and like, no one's gonna make me change my mind about continuing to cover the preemptive true crime case, because I know why I'm doing it, and I know why I stand firm on the reasons of why I do what I do. It's just like the flip-flopping is so crazy. It's just like I've never understood it, of how one creator or follower will like get mad at another one, and then all of a sudden it's just not a logical way to live, and it's always going to end you in really bad circumstances when you do that. Like people flocking to the prof when he was exposing Greeno and all of the stuff that was done there that was just absolutely horrible. And I have zero respect for him. I have never liked him. I try to be nice to him because he came on a panel that wasn't even on true crime, and I felt bad for him because he was new up there, and that group of people could be pretty brutal for a newcomer. And like I said hi and like try to ask him a question or two, and he took that to mean I like wanted to jump him or something. Like what? Like They were calling you Dahmer, and I just like tried to make you feel. I was trying to be nice to you, and like he turned it into this big old stupid thing. But like he's proven himself to just be literally quite unhinged, and I think it's never seen old Marv read off Greeno's criminal history.
Yeah, isn't that
Never
weird?
seen old Marv defend the victims that he had and that she knew about because they called her for help. Never seen her call out Greeno one time for threatening multiple women. Oh, but you're an advocate? Okay. I see how you play. Like, it's ridiculous.
Maybe what
You're
she
not a
needs.
victim, Faye. Like you're literally not. Like I don't have. If you, what did I do to you? Like to you, what in the fuck did I do to you? Like that. Like, come on.
And to even what she's claiming to compare it to anything that Greeno has done is like comparing bologna sandwiches to prime rib steak. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm not even saying what's being said is true, but like, even if true, it's like it's not quite comparable. And
I wish I could find what Rebecca Ann said earlier because it was so good, and I've literally tried to like memorize it so I could bring it up later, but I forgot Rebecca, but it was really good. But yeah, I forgot. Like, what are you talking? Oh, because I like, oh look, you and Ruckus are over. Like, so what? You go around proving my point for me all the time. Like, literally, I just can't.
I'd also like to address.
She knows what she did. What are you talking about?
Like, I also want to distinguish and because they keep saying like, so, I'll watch what I want, and that's okay. I'm not here.
Go right ahead.
I'm not here to tell people what to watch or what not to watch. What I'm doing and what we're doing is saying, hey, be careful with who you support. And I mean, Faye, you're supporting him. You're not just merely watching him. There is a difference. There's a lot of things I watch that I don't necessarily support, but I will watch it for information and for education. And and that's simply
it. Like I don't support Ed Kemper or like, but heck yeah, because I've been very honest about why I'm here, understanding the criminal mind. Like that's when my aunt was murdered, it's just like I couldn't deal with that. Like, why would a stranger kill her? And so yeah, I find all of those things entertaining. But do you think I would like let him come over? Like be my friend? No, because I find him entertaining on YouTube. Like it's the most insane thing. But the whole point is just like, okay, yeah, someone can be entertaining and not worth you trumpeting for and giving them your money for yet another. Like, how many did I show in that video? Fake movies that have never come to fruition. And this one is his biggest one of all. And it's not even at the bridge. Why? Oh, he'll tell you because he doesn't feel safe.
He doesn't feel safe. Yeah.
But yet he is the conqueror boss man of all and will kick everybody's butt and kill them too. But yet he doesn't feel safe. So he's going to film it somewhere on another bridge. It's just like, it's such a slap in the face to actual victims and their families, and especially when they are able to get these cult-like followings that do, their Jamie Hicks actually called them flying monkeys. That wasn't a term that I had heard before. Jamie Hicks said this a long time ago about Greeno's followers, and I actually looked the term up, and it's what was it? It's like a psychological term that I learned by watching her cover Greeno. And when I looked it up, I was like, damn, like she freaking nailed it. Like that, like if you look up the term flying monkeys, that's what Greeno was able to do because of his charisma and superficial charm and like cult-like leader abilities. Like he's really good at that. He's really good at making things, but the mask will always slip. And it slips so often that it's like that's the true character of the person. And the thing that I always know is because of all of this, no one's ever going to be able to prove me wrong. Because it's just going to continue and continue and continue like it has since 2000. Well, I don't have anything before he was, I know he has quite the record from before he turned 18. But by 2010, he had like 40 some arrests, like a ton of charges. I mean, it's just, and that was in 2010 and it's not changed any.
No.
You know, and that's the point, is that someday someone is going to get really hurt. And the people in this community are going to look, the creators that like do team up with them, they're really going to, they end up hurting their credibility. I've seen it happen to my own friends, you know, and like what he did to them. And like, you're just the newest one. And you want to be mad because I want to like give you a warning about that. Like, you don't have to take my advice. You can learn the hard way. But like, there's been a lot of people before you guys, and there'll be a lot of people after you guys. And if you notice, he never has any OGs except for Marv. But that shouldn't tell you anything, because I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. All I know is that before Marv, there was a Julie, and before Julie, and then, I mean, Julie's come and gone for several times because she's just for whoever her sick games play for, you know, she's just whatever. But with one of my friends from the very beginning of this case, he did this to her, and it like hurt me like to watch her do that. But I never stopped being friends with her because Greeno got out of jail and she helped get him out, and she had him on her channel, and she wanted to support him because I knew that he preyed on her for a specific thing in her life that he used against her, of her love for her child. And he was able to use that against her. That's why he always has a mother figure. That's why he always has a girlfriend. Like, that's always why he tries to jump on legitimate creators. Like, there's some guys from the I call them the Free Allen crew, but like Fiend, and there's a guy named Dan. I think his name's Dan, and what's the other guy's name? And they're like I don't know. I think they're funny. I think that they have a lot to offer. I think they're really smart men, and it's just like, you could be so like, you just don't like need someone like him, you know, like and like the credibility, and he will use you for all your worth, and you can go and ask all the other YouTubers before you, like, how that will end up being true. Look what he did to Noe. That was a recent one.
yeah. And let me pause right there, because I don't want to lose my train of thought, because I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, good.
You know, he talked about Noe in his latest video, and talked about, you know, Prof, and was talking about chomos, pedophiles, whatever, and wants to associate Noe, and then of course with Kagan Klein, talked about that. But you know, he had no problem with that. What, 6 months ago, a year ago, had him on his channel. As a matter of fact, if any of you look at his lives, and if you look down the list, you know, with his AI generated bullshit of photos of him and Noe, he didn't have any problems with what Noe was all about, or what he claimed Noe was all about, you know. But now all of a sudden, let's bring that up as justification of like, oh, this is all these guys, Noe and Prof and all that stuff. They're all in the same boat. It's so disgusting. They're a bunch of they're a bunch of pedophiles. But again, with Noe, he had no problem with him putting him on his show, even talking about with the whole thing with Julie Melvin, and claiming that Julie lied about Greeno and some, you know, situations. And Noe's trying to be the voice of reason. You know, again, if he was so bad, If Noe was so bad, Greeno, I guess maybe should have had nothing to do with him to begin with, because it's not like you didn't know what his past was. You knew, you didn't care.
Yeah. Cleo, that's hilarious. And Gene, yeah, I mean, that's just like a general, and like you and I can't remember the one guy's name, but I know the other guy. I'm pretty sure his name was Dan. You and Dan, and then like one other guy that I was just like, I really enjoy, because I listen to. I don't agree with like some of the extremes. I think extremes are they're just wrong historically, culturally, societally, case wise. Like extremes are just bad, and like some of the people that you guys were going live with, those are the ones that I call that, because there's just like, no matter what, like he's innocent, to say, like, to make a definitive statement, like in quotes, Richard Allen is effing innocent. Like those are the people that I don't like. But you guys would get on there and it was like, oh, wow, like these people are good. And then I think you guys might have all had a break. I don't know what happened, but it's just like, I don't know if you have channels, but I think you, like with criminality, like that chick is such a badass. I love her. And she could bring people together, because this whole stuff, like there's, but no, I don't think you're a freak. Like you want Richard Allen to walk free if he did it. Like, no. I just think more people need to just like stand on their own. Like, you don't need people like him. Like they're not going to add anything. They're actually going to detract, and they're going like someone said earlier, and it's the perfect example. Yeah. I mean, just, I don't know, but I think that like I haven't followed that particular case, but I know that she had, like Marv, she's done a lot of stuff for Tabitha Shuck Reigns, and I think that's awesome. We need more people to do that. But when you are like aligning and supporting and trumpeting for like someone like Greeno, you're so disrespectful to the families that you're advocating for, to have someone like that. That's why I got so pissed off at that little Dutchman guy, like, no, just, hey, Greg. Hey, Sin City. Hey, Truth Sleuth.
So how about we move on to the last point? Number 7. Number 7. Greeno and televangelists continuously reinvent themselves to stay relevant and maintain their follower base. So with Greeno, you have bounty hunting, reality TV show star, victim advocate, true crime investigator, basketball coach, what have you. Well, a wheelchair basketball coach. After his last stint in prison, he claimed on Graz's live stream that he changed and he wanted another of many chances to prove himself. And you might as well call Greeno Jimmy Baker, because after Jimmy got out of prison, but after Jimmy got out of prison, due to 8 counts of mail fraud, 15 counts of wire fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy, and I don't know if he got charged on all of those or convicted on all of those, but that's what he was charged with. He wanted another chance. Not another chance just to live your life. Like sometimes it's like, look, okay, I did this thing. It sucks. I just want to let me live my life. I'm just going to move on. No, he didn't want that. He wanted another chance to televangelize. And people like Baker and Greeno, they cater to people's compassion, because after all, God is a God of 2nd, 3rd, 4th chances. But did Baker make good with his new change? No. He just learned to play the game better, scamming people by telling them that the end of the world is coming and they need to buy his survival good buckets of food. Legal or not, a scam is a scam. And I mean, that's Greeno. Some things he does learn. He still always comes around. It always turns around. But some things he'll learn to be like, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. And is there anything you want to add to that, the reinvention of himself and how televangelists do that? All right. I think that we have lost Cold Truth. Let me see what's going on. I think she had to mute something.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry about that. Well, just kind of like, you can really kind of like, I obviously grew up with a ton of televangelists, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the grift is strong with those guys. And my problem always with them is that they use the Bible or people's faith to scam them, but I've been watching this show. I don't know if it's new or if it's just may just be new to me. It's called Cult Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So anyone know about Jeff Lundry? He's one of the what's it? A Mormon, he moved to where the original I think they call them temples for the Mormon Church of Joseph Smith. It's in like Ohio. And he like conned his way into being the historian to walk people around this temple in this little town in Ohio. And meanwhile, he was stealing the money from the church, like foundation or whatever. And then he was talking these people into believing that he is like the Messiah, right?
Right.
So then he talked these people into killing a family because they needed to go in order to usher in them being able to get to the promised land or whatever. You know how these guys operate. There's always but this is what the prosecutor said. And I'm like going to quote her because it was so like awesome. She was like, I was not prepared for how vainglorious Jeff was. Jeff saw himself as someone who is really appealing because he took an entire day to justify why he killed this family. Like little kids. He systematically shot all of this like little kids and the parents. And got his members to help him do this. And for her to say that, so it's like, I was not prepared for the vainglorious Jeff. Jeff saw himself as someone who was really appealing. Well, he wasn't. He was a tall, fat man with long, greasy hair. That's what he really was, even though he saw himself as something completely different. And like, this show is just even more makes my point about Greeno type people, like along with all of the televangelist points, which are beautiful. Like go look up Dwight York, Reverend Dr. Malachi York. If that is just not something that I could see a Greeno type personality doing all of those things. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They do have they are entertaining, and they're counting on you being so entertained by their charisma and their superficial charm that you will let all of their bad acts slide. And not because people see what they want to see, and especially if you feel someone is telling you what you want to hear and like you are invested in that person, people tend to want to just kind of, well, I'm not going to remember that they did that yesterday. Like, let's just like count for today, and like, and they excuse bad behavior because they align with some, false sense of rightness that he has, and he just monopolizes. He doesn't have any inside information. He never has. Guarantee you, he still does not. And to make his docuseries, like here's a Greeno quote. I wasn't just picked to be on a TV show and go on there and be a little segment on the TV show. No, I am making a TV show. You see, when I told everybody I don't need mainstream media to push no BS for me or jump in some or do all of this stuff, no, we'll just make a TV show ourselves. Why? We have the ability. Why not put it to use?
He never thought about that before. All of a
Never
sudden,
thought
it's
about
just,
the victims.
yeah. And let's make that clear
He didn't
too.
get picked to be on Court TV or the other one, like the other documentary. So he's like, well, I'll just make my own.
Well, and it burns his ass that people, whether you love or hate Murder Sheet, whether you love or hate Gray Hughes, whether you love or hate Rick Snay, these people
Right.
have been on things, and God, because he feels he is the head of the table when it comes to this case. And boy, that bothers him. And this project, this docu-series, whatever, whether it gets completed or not, 2 episodes, I guess, I don't know about the rest. I guess we'll find out. But it's not about justice for Abby and Libby. It's a vanity project, because he made it very clear this isn't just about them. This is about him and his journey. He wants people to acknowledge him. He wants people to give him affirmation.
Yeah. And the thing is he will get, and this is a typical behavior of like televangelists and cult leaders, because they get off on how when they see that people are just like blindly following them, and they'll start out with like, it's not like it's a slow burn into, and people think that they're going to be immune to cult, and that's just not true. Like you're not. And that they will literally like he will be so outlandish with his lies. Like and it's like, because he knows, I think he likes that people will just believe them no matter what. Like an anonymous person sent me a clip of a live, I don't know if it was, I don't know what night, but he said that shit, now it's gone. What did I just say?
Sorry, I just got accused of being one of the members of the Anthony Shots account. I was just wrapping my head around that.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'll pull it up again. Brandon Rhodes. Burn After Reading was one of the people behind the Anthony Shots account. Can you believe this shit?
I mean,
I guess that's supposed to invoke a response.
Right.
But the response was laughter, but okay.
Yeah, that's just wild. And that's the thing, is like when you come with things, like you back up your stuff, even when with West Memphis Free or like other Maura Murray and like the cases that you've involved yourself in, and even the Greeno stuff. It's not like you just come and like sputter, like prattle on. Like you bring proof, like sourcing and doing things like that. So it's just like
and I may not have gotten every detail right all the time, but I also kind of.
Hey, Bossy, who do you watch? Just curious, Bossy.
But I grade this on a curve. It's like, hey, if I'm scoring a passing grade and I admit the mistakes and correct them, then I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, that's called like mindfulness and like growth, and like a lot of people, unfortunately, they're not capable of that. But like. He gets people that way, though. That's one of his main things that he will monopolize on, is people that have made mistakes in their past. And it's like, but the difference is you changed. A mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And if you learn from it, it's a life lesson. And life lessons are always going to lead you down a better path of mindfulness and like being a better person for having made that mistake. But if you never learn from them, then they are just mistakes.
Right.
But like I see him doing that to people, and that like hurts my heart so much because I know that they're genuinely changing, like genuinely good people, but they still feel you know, saddened by an old behavior or ashamed or whatever. And it's like, no, don't let that lead your life. Like you did one thing and you turned your life around. Like that is not like Greeno. That's you're not the same. Don't let him tell you that you are, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. Look, if someone actually does learn from their mistakes and are consistent with good accountable behavior, then that's great. I will not, you know, you still have to be accountable for what you've done, but moving forward, it's like, they should be able to move on with their life. Absolutely. May not necessarily mean they should cover certain things. I kind of feel sometimes you lose your privilege on an ethical standpoint. It's like once you kind of fuck that up, you need to go away. But still, you should be able to live your life. And having said that, I want to talk about how to avoid being deceived by grifters. And
Yeah.
it's essential to do the following: verify information through credible sources. Research the grifter's background and credentials. Be cautious of sensationalized content. Watch for emotional manipulation tactics. Be skeptical of unverified claims or conspiracy theories. And support reputable true crime content creators and advocates. And I hold you, Cold Truth, to be one. Gray Hughes, I believe he's another. And by being aware of these tactics and taking a critical approach, we can avoid falling prey to true crime grifters like Greeno and instead support ethical and responsible content creators who prioritize truth and respect for the victims and their families. And, you see, to people who are listening or
Yeah.
watching, whichever, Cold Truth and I, we can only relay the message. We can give you the information, but it's up to you as to what you do with it. But
Mhm.
understand this: what you do might have moral and ethical consequences if you choose incorrectly. Some of you might be new to this and you don't have all the facts and understanding. That's fine. Perhaps you never heard the other side of the story, and that's why I wanted to do this episode with Cold Truth, so that you can know and have zero excuses as to what is right and what is wrong, because there's no gray area here. But here's another reason that we wanted to do this live stream. We noticed as of late, and we mentioned this earlier, that one-time Greeno detractors are joining his side in some capacity, even reveling in his poor and disgusting behavior.
Yeah.
I even noticed a content creator who I respect very much sharing a list of creators doing videos for Flora Week. And can you guess who was one of those people on that list? Well, Anthony Greeno.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to address, I'll let you have your say after I'm done here, Cold Truth, but I want to address these people now. And I believe there's certain severities to it. And I consider directly naming some of them. Some of them were on this live chat, but do I really need to do that? Because look, you know who you are. I feel like some of you should know better, and because of that, I'm not asking you to reconsider your position. Instead, you should go ahead and double down and keep supporting him, because there's no turning back or changing your mind now. Not when you already know better. I'm holding you all accountable for him. Whether you share his content, praise him, or donate money to him, you're a part of his ilk, and in my humble opinion, you are empowering his grift. You support a multi-time convicted felon who is the disgrace of the bounty hunting community. You support a felon who is the disgrace to victim advocacy. You support a felon who threatens to murder people. It doesn't matter if he's serious or joking just to get a sadistic rise out of it. Good people don't do that. You support a man who convinced you that he cares so much about what happened to Abby and Libby 2 girls he's never met in his life, while at the same time doing nothing for his own children. One he simply refuses and falsely claims is not his own child. To deny he actually is the father of that child. Can you imagine? Don't misunderstand me either. We should all be appalled and outraged by what happened to Abby and Libby. I mean, clearly. We should all show empathy and demand justice. But what does it mean when a felon like Greeno shows more concern for people who he's never even met versus his own offspring? The answer is, it's a trick question. He doesn't care for either. And let's face it. You support a habitual, proven liar. Everything he's done and is doing and will do isn't for Abby and Libby. He's doing this for his own gain. They are his meal ticket, a stepping stone, a way to be seen. And that is what you truly support and enable when you side with Anthony Greeno. And if you can't see it, it's because you don't care. It's not because you're blind to it. The list of his unforgivable actions and statements are vast, and he's not done. Take it for what it is, because that's what you endorse, and because you do, you can all kiss my rosy red ass, each and every one of you. Oh, am I going to lose a subscriber? Oh, am I going to lose 10? Oh, I would. To me, this is not a popularity contest, and I think we know I probably would have lost that a long time ago. But congratulations! He's all yours now. When he self-destructs again, don't you dare jump off that griftanic.
Oh, yeah, you better stay on it. And guess what? You know, when he does end up in a documentary, probably on the wrong side of it, there better not be a bunch of these fucking people in this community being like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like, no, you did have an idea, and like you ignored it and you trumpeted for him. And like, even like do you guys know there is literal video evidence proof that Greeno was not involved, well, other than like the insinuations and this missing stuff and all that. And he insinuated himself to being like driving by the bridge and all of that, like where he's injected himself into the case. But like, he wasn't covering this case. He was off. There's video evidence of where he was. And he did a whole segment. He was over, where was it? Georgia or the Dakota somewhere, with that Jim Stouchowitz domestic like terrorist guy. And there's literally, he has them on his own channel of like the behind the scenes of these two douches thinking that they were gonna be on this big investigative journalist is like looking into the life of them, and like then she ended up like literally turning it around on them. Liz Owens did it. You can look it up, because that is literally proof that he was not here covering Delphi in 2017, like in the beginning of this case.
Yeah.
Like there's proof for stuff, and people, they just don't care. You know, what's that movie where Jack Nichols is like, you don't care about the truth.
Yeah, it's like, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Like, you literally can't handle it.
Well, and again, what these people will do, they will try to say, well, it was a little white lie. Just instead of saying, no, it was a bold-faced lie. Yeah, so he exaggerates a little bit. Still, look what he does. It's so good. Did you see that, the very nicely produced thing that he did makes it look so nice? Oh, like they will continue to make excuses for him no matter what. And also, the Liz Owens thing, wasn't that one guy, was he a racist, like a white supremacist, or am I getting that wrong?
Who?
The guy in that video interview, was it with Liz Owens?
Oh yeah, and Greeno was holding up his like his shirt for the camera, and it was like a it was I think it was like 2017, but he it had like a middle finger to like all lives matter, and like that was his thing, and those are debates that you get into people with, like, yes, of course all lives matter. Like, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole, but like, yeah, that guy, I mean, he was like taking AKs out and in front of buildings and like protesting all on his own and just causing a ruckus, and he got in trouble with like the federal government or whatever. But Greeno hooked up with him because he was like paying his way to be a fake bounty hunter, and they're on that show. It's quite hilarious, really, to watch the height of like arrogance, you know, and just outright like lies, like Greeno saying that he has more authority than the police. Or agent, calling himself like Agent Greeno, or like these AIs that he makes of himself. Like, what is that? Like, way to go, Indie Archive, for making it to so many subs. And he's like a picture of him. Like, is that a card he wanted to send to Indie Archive? Be like, I just wanted to give you like a picture of me, maybe like hang it up on your wall. I don't know, where he's like a cowboy on a horse.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will frame
Like,
that.
he makes all these like fancy AIs of himself, and like people that usually do that kind of thing are really kind of insecure about, you know, the way that they look, or, you know, the money that they make, because they can't afford to wear those kinds of things or have a horse, or, you know, they can't be a sheriff because, you know, they're a repeat offender, you know.
You know how people, you know, when they have like a YouTube show and behind them, they will display their YouTube plaque. Like if they had like 100,000 or 1 million subscribers.
Newfie girl.
What?
No.
Well, yeah, like you'll have like the basic, and then you'll have a platinum thing, and it'll show, you know, that they have that YouTube plaque. And I'm sure that Indie Archive will, if he ever decides to do a show where he's talking and he wants to have like a study in the background, I'm sure he'll have a YouTube YouTube plaque along on the other side, a Greeno dressed as a cowboy congratulating him for making 10,000 or eventually maybe 100,000 subscribers. So it's a lot funnier if you know what I'm talking about, but trust me.
Yeah. But yeah, new Fi Girl. That's an awful bold statement to make, that Hoosier cold cases threatened the life of Gray. I bet Gray would say that never happened. Like, yeah, have they had like little like spats? Probably. Like, but like, I can't, no. That's the thing, is like people, again, you know, they don't like that I am friends with Hoosier cold cases, like in real life. Like, they don't like that. That offends them so greatly. But so their reaction to their offense and trying to bully me into changing my mind, like, not going to happen, is that to join up with Greeno, which is so nonsensical. I can't even really wrap my head around it to put it into a coherent sentence. Like, I don't, like, how do you?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
So weird. Yeah, he did, Truth Sleuth. He's done a lot of really crappy things. Like, what kind of a monster insinuates that because he made a reenactment, like, I think it was in 2018, and Anna had every right to be upset by that. So when he shows up for the vigil at a church, which they have they don't like, that's not public property. They can kick him right the fork off, and they did upon her request. What did he do later that night? He went live and told people that she's just a revengeful person because she tried to get with him and he denied her. To Anna Williams, this is what he said.
Shifting the blame. He's shifting the blame and making
He's done it to me several times. Like, I would never give, like, never would I give that, like, that type of person the time of day.
He
Like,
does that with, yeah.
and to try to come in between my relationship to the point where, like, my man thinks he's a complete joke of a person, you know? And, but for him to have to, like, write a letter of, like, yeah, that never happened. Because he keeps saying it and people want to believe it because they don't like me because they think I'm obsessed with him or whatever. But, like, it's like, it's so ridiculous of, like, no, Greeno has never talked to my husband. I've never done anything, and that's not who I am as a person. Like that, I do take offense to that. Like people thinking that I would want to be with someone like him.
But that's his go-to with the opposite sex. Anytime the opposite sex criticizes him, it's like, oh, it's because they want me. I spurned them, told them I wasn't interested, and now they're just being spiteful bitches. That's what he does.
And I know what you're saying, Anna. And like, yeah, like I have said that publicly. Like there's some things that HCC does that I don't agree with. He does that. And there's things that I do that he doesn't agree with. And like, you know, but it's nothing to end our friendship over, you know? And like, he's been there for me and I've been there for him through quite a lot of stuff, like real life stuff. And that friendship is so much deeper than this YouTube drama. And, but what I see is like people, like trying to compare HCC to Greeno. And that's the part where it's just like, there's no comparison in person. Like, yeah, I've gone on and just like had enough and just like, you know, said whatever the hell I wanted and was like, you know, because it just gets to you. But like he's done that maybe 2 times compared to the every other day of Greeno. Like they don't compare. They just like don't. And that's my point is like, I know what you're saying. I just, I don't like it when, and I know Anna doesn't do that of like, you know, like Team Greeno because she doesn't, you know, like the stuff with ACC, but like other people do. You mentioned are aggravating. But yeah, hey James. Hey Phil, Jamazi. Yeah, it looks like some of those earlier ones left, like probably because Chaotic chased them right the fork off. She got no time for the BS. Like she's just such an awesome person. And no, she is. Yeah, ACC is a great person overall and a friend. No one always has to agree, but real friends can discuss and agree to disagree and stay friends in the end. Yeah. And I just I can't. I'm not gonna, you know, there's a lot that's going on. And yeah, like it just, again, you know, just because the prof is a ridiculous person, and I agree with people that think the same way, doesn't mean that I'm going to jump on Team Greeno. He's monopolizing on that. Of like, he's using that to discredit the things that like Prof said about him. And then Prof was doing it to him. So it's like 2 wrongs don't make it right. And they never will. Never will. Not one time, never will. It just shows your character when you think that, well, they did it to me, so that gives me the right to do it to them. It just really doesn't. And the whole doxing people, like, because they did it to them. How many times has Greeno doxed me? When have I doxed him? Like, go find some times.
Not
even
just dox
in
you.
his court records, I redact stuff. Like, even for him, which you don't have to on court. It's court records, you know. But like, I still do. It's It's not a tit for tat. He just said it last night in his diddlers. Like, that's a pretty bold statement to say that the defense attorneys, because you don't like them, they're doing that. You know, at the bottom of the day, I think they're just like they think they are like Shakespeare's going to come up and judge their, you know, motions and stuff. Like they're like defense attorneys to, you know, we need defense attorneys for fair trials. And like, I don't know what's going on right now, but they're doing their job, and people are falling for it. They're falling for the emotional manipulation that they put in their filings. They're just falling for it hook, line, and sinker. Like not being able to see through the Shakespeare writings. Like it's so ridiculous. And like I don't care for Judge Gull. I'm just gonna be real. Like I just don't. She hasn't like proven herself to be worthy of me liking her, you know? Like I don't like her. And I don't care one way, other way or the other. If it I don't think that these two defense attorneys aren't going to have just as many problems with the next judge. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
but she has shown herself, like, and what's she going to do now? Because she's kind of backed into what's it called? A Hobson's choice all of her own doing. You know, you did that. You had cameras and you made excuses for why you had cameras, but you only had cameras one time. And then you did all that. And now they've put you in that same position, even though I'm pretty sure you can't call a judge to be a witness in an ongoing trial. So that's kind of dumb. But like, she's going to have to say, yeah, it's in the filings. Like, so I don't know why she's trying to like, she denied that she said, well, he doesn't have to come. So just leave him there. Like she literally told them that. But now that they're going to try to call Liggett, I don't even know why it would be Liggett because I'm pretty sure it was someone else, but like the of his character, and use her to like, so she's going to have to come out and be like, okay, my bad. Like I did tell him to just leave him there. Or she's going to be like, yeah, Liggett lied. Which one is it? It's going to come up.
So cold truth.
Yeah.
You got any closing statements?
Regardless of how you feel about me, how I handle myself, how my coverage, my attitude, my perceived bullying that you perceive that I am, don't let your distaste or disdain or not liking me influence the truth about Greeno. The truth is the truth. It doesn't need you to believe in it for it to be true because it just is. And you can follow the court document trail through that guy, and it's still going on. You know, why is he not here? Does anyone really believe that they're not going to arrest him when he comes back? That he's not back for the most important thing that he has gotten the most infamy off of? Come on, people. But don't like, you can feel how you feel about me and still have conviction about allowing someone like him in this community. Like, you know, I don't care. I don't care if you like me. It shouldn't change your opinion of someone like him and the damage that he does in this community. He is a true crime case. He should not be being supported and sent all of this money. And I really kind of like, I hope someone's looking out for this production company. Like, because he'll take them right down with the ship, the ship. And like, I highly doubt that they will ever get paid all the way. There's not going to be 10 episodes of a Greeno starring Greeno TV series. It's just not going to happen. It will not happen. Why do I feel so strongly about that? Because of all the ones I just showed you in that other video. Of all the other times that he has had these shows, and literally the same language. I have two competing companies that are like competing for the, oh, I can't really talk about it. Like you GP film crew. Why do you need to hire a film crew? Like what? Anyway, but like, for, I don't know the reputation of that company that he's working with, but especially if they're newly starting and like they seem like, they are, could really be good. Someone coming in their life like him could ruin their career, and like, I feel like people have a responsibility to warn people like, hey, not trying to like get in your business or tell you what to do, but like, hey, just, be on guard. Because this guy is not what he seems. He's just not. Knowledge protects us. Yes, it does.
And also,
thank you, Anna. I like giving back to people.
And he, he keeps saying that this is going to be on television. And here's the thing. When convicting a murderer, when that was being made, and before that actually went on to the Daily Wire streaming service, people aren't going to just option your stuff until you have the entire thing ready. So him saying like, oh, this is going to be on TV. This is going to be on TV. It's like, no. And they're also not going to base it on your incomplete work either. It's like they kind of want to see what you're doing, and they want to make sure they see the complete thing. And also, they'll have, their say on what they want to edit and what they want to do. The original version of Convicting a Murderer is very different than the one that we see on the Daily Wire. Well, at least for those who did watch it. I did. I thought it was a very interesting docuseries. So be mindful of that. Again, that's him exaggerating what's happening with this thing, trying to blow it up because he's trying to hype it as much as possible. And he has no problems about lying about that. And I'll tell you, I thought this was a great live stream. We sure stirred a hornet's nest, but it was.
Well, I can't because they were flying by, but the chat earlier was like off the freaking chain. You had all of those people coming in. Probably sent by Greeno. Looks like Faye's gonna make a video about me of whatever she thinks I've done wrong. Like she's done this before though. Like she tried to like come between me and chaotic, and it was like the weekend. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like when people are real friends, like someone like her is not gonna like be able to divide us. Like people have tried for some reason. Like I don't know why women do that to other women. Like whether it was like Mel was such a terrible friend to you because she didn't do this, and it was like, huh? Like real friends don't. Yeah, like I don't think she knows what real friends really are. But like, yeah, it didn't work, and it hasn't worked, and it's just like so sad when people make it about their like that's what like the people that are saying shit about me. I'm literally moved none. Like I shut my computer and they don't cross my mind. Like I move none. I don't care what people say about me. Never have. But the fact that like I don't know. It's just like so weird that they would. That's what hurts is like, I don't like dislike me all you want. Think I'm a fraud. Think I'm a liar. Think I'm, a bad person who surround myself with like what you think are bad people. But why does that have to change the truth in your mind about who Greeno is? Like, that's what hurts, because I have literally tried my best to, because I know how he is to the lie versus the truth, showing my work repeatedly taking the time to go through and redact hundreds and hundreds of documents to try to like not dox him, not dox the victims, and like to put all of that together and point out to you he tells on himself, I don't mean to. So that you would take all of that evidence and throw it out because you don't like me. That's scary. And that's scary for the potential next ex-girlfriend.
And you've never played his game, meaning that when he doxed you, you never tried to do the same type of tactics. And that's the difference between someone that's ethical versus unethical. And you could probably throw a lot of other words in there other than unethical. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to see. And for them to see him do those type of things and not say, this is reprehensible. We don't like cold truth, but we can't stand for that. We don't like what she has to say, but we can't stand for those kind of tactics. That's wrong. That's not what a good advocate, that's not what a good person does. I've never thought like, hey, it would be great to go ahead and dox the people that I don't like. Even when Greeno would throw me addresses that were bullshit of where he was, claiming where he was in Washington, I never published those because that is probably a place that someone does live. And I am just on the off chance that there is that one-off psycho that might try to harass and stalk. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that person's address out there. And it's funny because he's put a lot of different addresses out there and they're not his.
Yeah. I disagree, Phil Bond. And it goes deeper than you'll ever know. And I can't even, because I'm not that type of a person. I'm not going to tell you of why that's just simply, not true. It's the truth, though. What I say about her, whether it be a little, skating around the events of it. Yeah, like I know what she did, and it was just deplorable.
Agreed.
People have no idea, and like I don't understand. I don't understand why Marv continues to do what she does, because I think that Marv, like, I don't know if it's just like a motherly like love and like think that just continuously thinking that he's gonna do better if she can just like help him. But like Marv could do so much if she would denounce him and like get away from his toxicity. I can't imagine laying down at night and like after she's heard Greeno, call other women the C word and everything else, put them in a ring fighting and getting punched in the face by a man. And, the victims that she has seen him, mistreat and abuse, and the online behavior of him, like I can't see someone like Marv standing up for like vigilante justice or like hanging people in the streets, so it's just like, I don't know how she can convince herself that that's all okay. And when she does try to help and advocate for victims, like chaotic, you said it earlier and you said it a bunch of times. Can you repeat it one more time in the chat? Yeah, that's true too. But there's one that you always say that is just like the best comment that we could end this live on. Yeah. No, about the you can't support and I wanted, did that help you with it? You can't support victims while supporting victimizers. But I don't think I said it very well. You can't support victims while enabling a victimizer. Like, enough said, mic dropped, chaotic, nailed it. you know, and that's what Vern and I are trying to point out, you know, against all like adversity, which isn't that like so crazy to think about, the like online like abuse that we both get, and so does truth be told for for calling him out. Like, it's such a backward world of like doing the right thing. And you know what just recently happened to me behind the scenes, and it's just like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And thank you so much for being a friend and talking to me about that, because I literally that was just like this. I'm going through some stuff with my own family, and things are a little difficult. And so when you're like sad or like dealing with other things, and then like something like that happens, you're just like, fuck it. Like, I'm done, you know, because it always feels like evil triumphs all the time.
And things compound.
Eventually it won't, though, you know, eventually it won't. His time will come, and he will answer for what he has done in this life.
He will. And going back, you know, yeah, things compound in our life. And when shit like that happens, you know, so it's okay to take a breather and just say, okay, I'm going to stay away from this for a couple of weeks or for however long is necessary.
Yeah.
And,
but then I was like, no, you know, and like, that was thanks to you for helping me through that and realizing that it's like no reason to like drop something that I am convicted about, you know. And I know you know that, and like I know that you have a personal conviction about it too, of like it's just hard when you like get like things that you're like, why, how in the hell is this man like literally like every other day violating, like, you know, I don't want to get into that situation because people will friggin', you know.
Well, it's like you said, it will come to a head. It's not a matter of if, but when, and we just don't know when the win is. And there will probably be a couple of wins from if we're going to base things off past experiences. But I don't hope for anything over the top to happen. Clearly, I would never want to see anyone to get hurt. Like, that's just not what I want. I don't want to see him get his from the expense of someone else.
Well, I'm talking about the life after this.
Right. No, I understand. Okay.
And, you know, like eventually, like I do feel like justice finally needs to come, you know, for him here on earth. And it will. Just a matter of time. And all of these people that are saying all this stuff to me, to you, to truth be told, to people that have my back and like are my friends, they even get abuse because they're friends with me. You know, it's like, you know, like one day everyone will know, and I hope people have the admit and don't be like, oh, I didn't know, you know, like, yes, you did. You had every opportunity to know, and I have made sure of that. Vern has made sure of that, and truth be told, has made sure of that. Like, you can't Google his name and the three of us not pop up immediately.
And even the things
that what we wanted.
Yeah. And even the things we don't cover, even those things, just if you simply watch his content, and if you don't watch it and not think, my God, that guy is a major league asshole, then again, that's on you. That is on you when he goes, one day, Mel, one day, you and I, we're going to be, and I can't wait. Because if you think I'm a bad motherfucker now, you'll totally believe I'm a bad motherfucker then. Like these threats and him posting things saying, you know, felony count 8, felony count 9, and with you it's death penalty. Referring, he'll claim that he was just fucking around, but to put those things, even if he's not serious and he's ha-haing, again, you would just sit there and go, man, that's sick. Like, that's not the right way
I
to
know.
go about things. So there is no blinders. There is no I
Yeah.
didn't know. Like you said, there's I didn't know, or well, I didn't know he would be serious about these things. Well, even if you felt
Mhm.
that way, you still knew it was a possibility.
Yeah.
And you still decided to
Yeah.
watch, donate, give them super chats, what have you. And I'd like to also hey, Marv, she has no excuses. His girlfriend Carly, hey, this isn't like certain people where he was
Mm-mm.
able to kind of put the blinders on. You moderate his
Mm-mm.
channel, you know what's going on, and you don't get the same concessions as other previous exes, in my opinion. I don't speak for you, but I'm speaking for me. It's like, no. Like, I don't want to hear your fucking crying. You know, and you enabled him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
You better stand on it. And if you're gonna die on his hill with him, you better keep on standing on it after he proves me right. But James, there was a bunch of people earlier in the chat that, like, for whatever reason, they think I've done something. I'm not even sure. Sure, there's videos to come, but like, it just makes me sad that, like, just because people don't like me, it's nothing like arrogant or like a vain. I just think it's, don't like me, that's fine, but don't let that change your opinion of someone like him, you know. But if when the chat comes available, probably will be what? How long does your steak burn?
say that again. I'm sorry.
Like the chat to come on, probably maybe at the end, like later on tonight or tomorrow, the live chat will be up and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about in the beginning of the chat.
Yeah, and it's weird, like with the live chat, like if you watch it like on a desktop or if you watch
Yeah.
it on a laptop, if you watch it there, you could see it. If it's on your cell phone, you can't see the live chat. I don't know why. Tell you the truth, YouTube has done a pretty piss poor substandard job when it comes to things with their mobile device. For example, when I get replies on my comments and say if I'm moderating those because, again, certain people like to dox or do certain things, not just in this situation with Greeno, but I mean in the West Memphis 3, Maura Murray. I get that stuff a lot. So, I moderate to make sure. And so when it's a new response, I can approve those. When it comes to replies or threads, I have to go to my laptop and I have to approve them that way. It's a real
Mhm.
pain in the ass. Anyways, I didn't mean to go on
Oh,
a
I
tangent.
know. I
But
know
it
exactly what you're
sucks.
talking about. They just keep changing everything and like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of considering going, I don't know. Because I heard earlier, some friends of mine in another genre were talking about that Spotify is do like where you're gonna be able to do videos, like live like streams and stuff through Spotify.
That's good.
And and that's the thing with just like the constant changing of the goalposts with, YouTube, like terms and the bipolarness of it. It's like hard to justify, you know.
Inconsistency is what YouTube is all about. Inconsistency. Like, one person can violate these rules, there's no problem at all. Someone else violates those rules, their channel is terminated, or they get a strike, and you can try to appeal it, and you don't get anywhere with it. Yeah, basically YouTube or Google overall, they basically decide to do whatever they want to do. So if Spotify helps and can help broaden a horizon, that's great. I I did a few episodes on Spotify, something that people could just simply listen to versus watching. I do like the YouTube format because you could put visuals and stuff. So if Spotify does that, that's great. I think that's something I would definitely consider looking more into.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I think that, because I started out in the podcast world, like uploading to, I mean, it's still on there. It just ended out like season 2 because it just got to be overwhelming with me and my OCD and the auditing or editing all the audios and like splicing together the interviews. But like, yeah, the podcast world is like so freaking chill creators actually help each other over there, at least the ones in my experience, and still do, because I'm still in those groups on Twitter. Like, they're supportive of each other. Like, it's like a different space other than, you know, like Murder Sheet. They kind of wiggle between the two, and I'm not a fan of them either. Like, I can be not like so many people on all sides, whether I agree with them on a point or not. I'm just like, no, you've proven yourself to be just, you know, reprehensible. I don't care if I agree with you on 4 things.
Yeah,
You're not a good person. Like, that's the craziness of this world over here. Like, it's so bizarre.
the Murder Sheet thing. Yeah, like, you know, when I've watched, or rather listened to some of their stuff. You got a call? Okay, go ahead and take it. I'll let her do her thing. But yeah, like the Murder Sheet thing, like, I've never had any personal problems with them, but I know a lot of people that I like and I respect. They do. They got some major issues with them. And I've had a few email exchanges with Murder Sheet, and they've all been fairly positive. But clearly, with all these people that I like, and these other things that are going on, you know, when there's smoke, there's fire, right? If it was against people I didn't care about or really like, that would be different. But shit, I basically ran out of things to say. I was going to actually wrap this up. Oh, there she is. She's back.
Sorry. I like
No.
that. Was like tickle in my throat, and it keeps like almost like choked on here. And I was like, did I mute first or put my camera off? I don't know. I hope you guys didn't have to hear me like hacking.
No, you were good. With the job I do, I gotta speak to a lot of people on the phone, and I hate when that happens, especially when I'm saying something. I was like, oh shit, don't cough, don't hack it up now. That itch is just,
I have
but
to
it's
talk
crazy.
a lot at my work too. My voice just gets like worn down, and like it's like, you know, that like you're not sick, but it's just like,
yeah.
Was at a birthday party this weekend, so it's probably that. It's just like, this is like itchy because it's
yes,
like deal, and it's just like, it literally will just like all of a sudden you're just like
yeah, and it's
yeah. I've done it like 3 times on here, and I hope no one had to hear it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not a sore throat. It's just that little itchy thing.
I hate
and
it.
It's a pain in the ass. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to end it here. But I want to thank everyone who participated. And of course, certainly, you know, not least, you know, Cold Truth, Mel, I really appreciate you wanting to do this. To me, I think it was productive. That's why I want to do these things. I just don't want to do them to do them. And I think we made our point.
Yeah, we did. And the thing is like, we can sleep well at night because we did. However, anyone else wants to twist it, you know, that's on them to twist what we're trying to do and make it into something else. That's not, you know, it's zero forks given. Right. But it'll be twisted. And but at the end of the day, like the things that I do are the things that I can't control anyone else. And it does get hard, especially to be accused of like stuff that like you didn't do, or people not having all the information, and how even though like there was a friend in real life that did like betray me really bad, and it hurt because that was someone that I loved, and like and it hurt, and then like in talking to her, it was very clear that there was not going to be a resolution, you know, like, and you don't come back from that deep of a betrayal that was like going on for a year behind my back, like. So I think that's what they were talking about, that they're mad at me about. Like, I don't know, but you know, that's on them. And the people that know and love me, and they know who I am. And I know who I am. And you know who you are. And like, we can be proud of ourselves no matter who wants to side with the habitual violent felon. It's grifting, evangelists. The list goes on.
Well, look, I'm proud of you, and I stand by you. And if anyone doesn't like that, well, tough luck. But it was because of your channel and the unpleasant truth of Anthony Greeno that I learned a lot. And it was a lot. I mean, it is a lot of information.
I know.
But it was worth putting all of that out there, all of it, because it made me knowledgeable. Now, sometimes it's hard to retain all of the information, but as I'm watching it and I am processing and digesting it, you, in my opinion, you did a great service by doing that. So
I'm proud of what I've done.
And you should be. And you should be.
That people think that, like, I get because I get upset more so on the way that people treat my friends, and to have someone tell me that you're like somehow like my groupie, like, no, he's not. He's a man of like strong character and values. And yeah, he watched my content and then like looked into it yourself, because you did too. Like, you didn't just take my word like there in the beginning. You went and found information on your own. And like, that's what people should do. But like, no, like I don't like that. Like that. And that's just not true. Because I know you well enough to know that if we stop speaking tomorrow, you're still going to feel the same damn way you did today about Greeno. Like, and that's not going to happen. Like, and that's my thing with people, is just like in relationships of all kinds, whether it's a friendship, it's a potential like partner in life, whether it is someone that you work with on a professional level on YouTube or whatever, it's the consistency over a long period of time is what you judge. People are gonna, they're gonna mess up, but do they mess up like every other day, or was it like one time and they, and then and an apology without a but happened? Like, those are the people that are worthy of surrounding yourself with, and I appreciate that you are one of them, and you bring a lot to this community outside of your coverage from Greeno, and I think you're just pretty awesome. And
well, I appreciate that, and I have a sneaking feeling this will not be the last Fire and Ice that we do.
Me either. I think it should just start being like maybe like a bi-monthly, tri-monthly, like scheduled like plan. And we don't have to always talk about him.
Sure.
Like, I would love to pick your brain about, some other cases, or we could even adventure out on a new case that we study together and like do. I think we have a good back and forth, and it flows really well, and the Fire and Ice is awesome. So like meant to be like to collab together. So
I think so.
Yeah.
And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Burn After Reading. She's Cold Truth. And we'll catch your ass down the road. See you later.
Thanks for being here, guys.